What's up, everybody? 40 the BulbulSaiyan here, and in this video, we're going to talk about Velanna again and the ranking that she was given on the Pridewin website for Eversoul. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Alright guys, you know the drill. Before we go ahead and get started, I want to remind you guys that if you enjoy what you see on this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, that way you guys are not missing out on future uploads. Leave a like on this video and comment down below if you've seen the ranking that Velanna has gotten on the Pridewin website and what your thoughts are overall about this character now that she's been out for almost a week now, and we have a review of her, we have playtests of her and things like that. So I want to remind you guys first, before we get started, check out the Pridewin website when it comes to information because it's super helpful. They give you a lot of information about how to play the game, different characters, their roles, their analysis. So I always link that website down below in the video description as well as the pinned comment. So be sure to check that out. And I also want to touch base upon tier list and meta. Be sure just to have fun first, okay? Don't get wrapped up too much, at least from my perspective. Don't get wrapped up too much on meta and tier list. I mean, they are important in that sense. If, for example, if you're free to play and you have limited resources you don't spend, then you could probably lean on them just a little bit. But most importantly, remember to have fun. And also when it comes to a gacha game like this, where it's all about team composition, that also plays into factor. So even if your favorite character that you absolutely love is, let's say, like D tier or like B tier, build the team around him and let's just see what happens. You know, that's just my personal advice when it comes to talking about the whole thing about meta and tier list. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the ranking that the Pridewin website gave Velanna and what are my overall thoughts about it. So they gave her an S in early PvP. So this is like around this, the start of the game, the earlier battleground chapters. I actually agree with this, and the reason being is that early game Velanna, she has limited accessibility to what really makes her good. And a lot of that comes from access to the stun. So like, for example, on her wild dance, which is her main skill, you don't get that stun till level 181, and by that time you're probably already at the mid game where she's actually really starting to shine. Early game, she doesn't really have that. I mean, she still deals a lot of damage, but I do find that because she's a damage dealer, you really want to fully invest in her. Like, once you pull for her, if you've decided that you really want to use her, you better best bet to fully invest in her. And this is the reason why I actually agree with the S rating that they gave her, because early game, you're not going to have access to some of the things that really make her shine, like some of the upgrades that some of her skills will get. But she's still decent. As a damage dealer overall, I think early game she's decent, just not as good as some of the other ones that we've seen. For example, like Naya is fantastic because of the CC that she does on both her main skill as well as her ultimate. So that, early game, I agree with that. Now, for mid game, they gave her SS. I also agree with this, and I have been using Velanna like crazy. I've been using her in Battlegrounds. I'm about to approach stage 14, Battleground Story 14, and I am starting to see her really shine. However, I do have mine invested Origin 3. She's almost level 201. I just need a little bit more mana crystals, and I am starting to see that she really does need that investment to really put in the output that you need. And also currently right now, there's not a lot of characters that really bleed besides her, besides Ayame, besides Haru and Jacqueline. I don't necessarily think she needs Ayame to really work wonders. I mean, if you have Ayame on your team and you have Velanna, then obviously she's going to perform better, but she doesn't really need it. I mean, I don't have Ayame. The only other bleed character I've been running with her, and sometimes I swap her out, is Jacqueline. I tend to swap Jacqueline out depending on what team composition I'm facing. If I see, like, some lethal backliners on the enemy team, then I'll throw Jacqueline in. But if I don't, usually I'll throw in like a second tank. But she doesn't need the bleed. I don't know why everyone thinks that if you don't have Ayame, you can't use Velanna. Velanna is actually great even without the assistance from the bleed from other characters. As long as you know how to play her properly, you know how to position her properly. I've been putting her in the front row for like when I was like doing chapters 11 and 12 in the beginning of 13, but now I'm starting to see some of her issues, which comes from her lack of evasion. Her evasion is very low, so it does get really annoying when I'm up against enemy teams that have CC and she's getting stunned left and right. She's getting silenced, she's getting slept, so it is starting to show a little bit of her weaknesses as far as her overall kit goes. But her damage output is still fantastic. She's been doing working wonders for me as long as I'm building the right team compositions around her. So I actually do agree with the SS ranking. She's not SSS at all. I never thought that she was. Even when I first saw her kit, I'm like, I don't think this character is busted. I think her damage output is crazy, and I think that, you know, and the bleed and everything complements her kit, but a lot of the things that make her shine, you really have to invest in. So I think that the SS ranking that they gave her is actually an accurate ranking. And then finally for boss, and right now we only have one, which is Corrupted Chloe. S tier, I personally agree with that. I actually might put her a little at SS, only because I'm running the undead setup right now for the Corrupted Chloe, and if you have her at least level 181, she can be used as a stunner when Corrupted Chloe is about to use her skill and then get the stun off, and then afterwards you can either use Violette's ultimate, or even Velanna's own ultimate. So she's actually, I think I would put her at SS for the boss, but currently right now we only have one boss, so I think that may potentially change as we get some more of those bosses. But all in all, I think the assessment for her is very good. It's very fair. She is not busted at all. I think she's very strong. However, as a DPS unit, like we've said earlier and I've said in previous videos, they require higher investment, and especially for her, if you really want some of the things that really make her shine, like those stuns and things like that, you're gonna really want to invest in this character. But overall, great review here, great analysis done by the Pridewin team. Again, guys, be sure to bookmark this page if you guys are going to be you guys are going to be playing Eversoul for a bit. They also cover other games on this website, so really good team that they got, you know, providing us this excellent information on the games that we love to play. All right, guys, well, thank you again for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next one, and stay blessed, everybody.